I've been living on the U.S.-Mexico border my entire life. As a kid in the 60s, before things got crazy, my friends and I would cross the border all the time to off and come back. That was long before the drug cartels became what they are today. Also, that was during a time when Americans were still tough people, not today's watered-down wimps who stay inside talking behind computers all day long. Now, as an adult, living on the border, it's more like working a full-time security job than actually having a life. If it's not enough to have to even deal with the illegals themselves, it's even worse having to listen to this crap on the news. Migrants is what they call them. They try to make it seem like the only people crossing our border illegally are Mexicans. Let me tell you something. I shot a Chinese man who was stealing eggs out of my chicken coop. I was awakened one morning by two African Muslims singing Allah Akbar and doing prayers. Then, these two had the nerve to talk about me slow cooking pork on my own property. Now listen, even with all that stuff going on, I can deal with the people. But these damn walking wolves, or dogmen that you call them, those things need to be stopped. I first became aware of their presence about 3 years ago. See, two illegals had showed up on the backside of my property. One of them was in a world of hurt. His stomach was pretty much opened up with his guts spilled all over the ground. And the other one was sitting next to him covered in blood, mumbling. And I know this is going to sound messed up, but my primary concern was to make sure that they didn't die on my property. Now, years ago, I probably did everything in my power to save them, but nowadays, when you deal with this kind of stuff, they got more rights than we do. Now, these two guys were about 15 feet across my property line. So I dragged one of them back over, and I walked the second one and set him down next to him. And then I called the police. While I was standing there on the phone with the police, one of them kept on saying, Lobo Camanite. Lobo Camanite. And he kept on saying that these walking wolves had taken the rest of their family last night. Again, I know this is going to sound pretty messed up, but I just thought Lobo Camanite was the name of some drug cartel that, these guys must have messed over, or they was responsible for smuggling them into the city and they didn't pay them. Really, it's none of my business. I just didn't want none of the crap on my property. Turns out it took every bit of 25 minutes for the police and ambulance to get there. One of the men died, and the other one, I'm really not sure what they did with him. But when it came time for them to question me, the first question out of their mouth was, why didn't I do more to help? To which I replied, I did everything I was supposed to, which is call you. You were late. I'm not going to lie to you. Later that night, I was feeling bad about the whole situation. But you got to understand, I'm torn. You see, the last time I tried to help, I took in two women. I was completely unaware of the fact that these two women were being forced to smuggle drugs into the country by the cartel. And that ended bad, real bad, with multiple shootouts. And guess who's the police were on? Mine, not the cartels. Nonetheless, I'm not a heartless bastard, so I'm feeling down about the whole situation. These were human beings just like me, and I would want somebody to help me. I was in this mindset as I walked out of my back door to take a smoke. And as usual at night, you could see flashlights everywhere. It's the illegals walking around and moving in the dark. On nights like this, when I can't sleep, I like to get my night vision goggles, sit on the back porch and smoke. You see some of the wildest stuff going on out there. So I'm sitting there, smoking my cigarette and looking through these goggles, when I see what looks like two big wolves running across the backside of my property. And by big, I'm talking about 400 pounds big. It was crazy because they closed in on this group of people. One of them circled around the front of the group, positioning themselves about 50 to 60 feet ahead of them. And the other one circled around behind them. Then the one in front rushed them and flushed them all to run towards the one behind them. They did this thing where they ran these people back and forth for like 10 minutes. It was almost like they were toying with them or trying to scare them. It seemed like it was all fun and game for these creatures until someone took a shot at them. That's when it really got bad. Both these things, I call them things because they weren't wolves, because wolves don't walk. They stood straight up and started walking. Completely ignored everyone else and let them run away. But that person who shot at him, let's just say you can call him kibbles and bits. Now I'm sitting there, and because I had those goddamn goggles on, it didn't feel real to me. But that's when it dawns on me. This ain't no damn TV show I'm watching. Something just tore a human being into pieces. And then it didn't run off anywhere. They stayed right there for an hour. And that was my very first time seeing these dogmen. But it wasn't my last. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Dog Waters checking back in with you guys. Now, listen to me carefully. You know, I'm going to do some inside baseball for this particular story, but that story is nowhere near over. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this guy, though. I've been talking to him for about 3 months now. And when I tell you that, first of all, he initially comes off as like he's not racist, but not bigoted, but he just comes off as like old, you know, frontier American kind of guy. You know, ain't a politically correct bone in this dude's body. To be honest with you, like this that comes out of his mouth is insane. But he means no harm by it. He's just speaking the truth and telling it like it is. So when he reached out to me and he started talking about Dogman and how he was having Dogman encounters on his property, combined with encounters from people who were crossing the border, illegal aliens. And then he spazzed out about what an illegal alien is versus a migrant, and like he completely flipped out, which it was funny to me because he's a cool guy. And he started sharing all this information with me. He was like, you know, I want to do an interview with you and I want to tell people what's going on. I'm like, great, well, let's start with doing a story. And now that I've heard all of his stories, which are about 6 of them and 6 different encounters, I think you guys are really, really, really going to enjoy these as they come down the pipeline. You really, really are. So in the story, I try as much as I can to capture his personality, but by no means do I want anybody to think this guy's some kind of racist bigot. He just is non-politically correct. I mean, he's like people used to be when I was growing up. They would say whatever the hell they had to say, and if your feelings got hurt, your feelings, right? So that's how he is. On another note, I know some of you are saying, hey, man, where the hell have you been, Dog Waters? You know, it's been 30 days, 45 days. Well, guys, if you recall, the last time I was on and I was doing the live streams, I kept on saying to you guys, hey, man, I'm testing the YouTube algorithm to see what's going to happen by doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, putting out stories, doing live streams, doing long-form streams, doing this, doing that. I threw everything at YouTube that I could throw, and it was ridiculous. I mean, it was like I threw like, I want to say like 40 hours worth of content at YouTube, and from a monetization standpoint, when I balanced it out, it was like $7 an hour when I did it, right? And that's when you combine the time that I was actually on air talking and the time on the phone and on the time recording. It was ridiculous. It made no sense. So I took a step back and reorganized and restructured. And I'm proud to announce that, and especially if you've been on Facebook, you've seen this already. I'm proud to announce that IamDogwaters.com is open right now and available to you. Now, what's going on over there? For $3.99, 13 cents a day, you will have access to exclusive Dog Waters content on that website. Now, somebody's going to say, well, are you going to stop posting on YouTube? Somebody else is saying, well, is the same stuff on the website going to be on YouTube? No. 2 completely different forms of content. YouTube's content will still come, but I can tell you guys it's not going to come as frequently as it was 30, 60 days ago. It's not finna be that way. So you can head on over to IamDogwaters.com, sign up, $3.99. Now, let me explain to you why it's important that you guys sign up now. So multiple reasons why it's important that you sign up now, but number one reason it's important is because I want to make sure that I can push this to another level. 3.5 months ago, right when YouTube decided that it was going to change this monetization because of the conservative move, people like Alex Jones were just destroying everything. And it's like, oh, we just going to kill a monetization because these guys are making too much money. That's really what it boiled down to. And they said the advertisers pulled out. But anyway, it was a whole bunch of bull. We had just pushed the channel to the point to where it kicked off enough revenue to start doing other major things. Well, that killed that. And other major things, I spoke to you guys about doing animation. And there were so many things in the pipeline that I wanted to do, but it killed it. So now that we reset up to where we can kind of get the financial energy that we need in order to move forward, IamDogWaters.com, I promise you, just as I've dominated YouTube and dominated when it comes to content, not necessarily subscribers, but I have the best horror narration content out there. I'm sorry if somebody else disagrees, off. It is. I mean, I've been told it by millions and millions of people all over the world. My intention is to dominate the paranormal world, but we need a strong foothold to get started. It's almost like buying some kind of war bonds, because that's what I plan on doing, which is going out and completely dominating the paranormal world. And what I mean by that is animated shorts, animated movies, syndicated talk shows. And you guys already had an opportunity to see how the talk show formatted sounded, because I was experimenting with it. You heard Kirby. You heard people call in and tell their own stories. So you guys know the level of entertainment that you will experience here with me at Dark Waters Channel and Dark Waters Family. So I need you to go on over and sign up right now. I mean, if, 10%, not 10%, yeah, hell, if 10% of you signed up, of the subscribers signed up, I mean, it would really, really ignite this thing and allow me to push it to another level. It really, really would. And another reason why you should sign up is because as of right now, if you get in now, your price is going to be grandfathered in at $3.99. I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. It'll be grandfathered in at $3.99. Now, when the animations and other things start hitting the table that actually add more value, then the price won't be $3.99. If there's an animated short movie on there that costs $5,000 to produce, but you get to go in there and listen to it, it's not going to be $3.99 and jump to get access to all that content. But if you're in now, you're grandfathered in for the future, and I can see the price shooting up extremely, extremely high based on some of the things we got going on behind the scenes and some of the people that we're talking to. So head on over to IamDarkWaters.com. IamDarkWaters.com. Sign up is $3.99. There's content there for you now. There will be constantly and consistently uploaded with content. And if someone says, well, you haven't uploaded content in the past 30 days, how I know you're going to upload now? What I will tell you is this: go back to the prior 30 days and look at the amount of content I was able to create and put out. So if I was able to do that then, and it was an experiment, then please realize and understand and recognize that I'm the best, and the best is not going to leave you short. So IamDarkWaters.com today. Head on over, sign up. I really, really could use you guys' support. And I know the Dark Waters family is going to support me, so I'm not really worried about it. $3.99, exclusive content. One of the vampire stories has been released today. More of them are releasing Monday and Tuesday. So, I mean, everything that you're looking for is going to be there. Everything. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. I got other videos I got to put in some work because there are people who signed up and they're expecting content. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.